Hello and welcome back to Docking Permission Requested. We will be proceeding where we left off last time, but before we start, if you want to start a 21-day EVE trial, you can click the link in the description and you will get an extended trial from 21 days as opposed to the regular 14 days. If you do subscribe, it will give me a flexing game, which is basically some game time, and I would very much appreciate it if that would happen, but you can always choose a regular trial. I mean, it's completely up to you. Now, that being said, let's dive right in. We just relogged, so first thing we need to do is check skills. Now, skill queue is filled for the moment. You should always make sure it's filled for as long as possible. Actually, this is kind of stupid because in 19 minutes it would actually run out. Now, this is 1 day and 19 minutes. Now, this isn't too bad because we'll just be playing for those 19 minutes and then we can add an extra long skill to the end. So yeah, that's done, and Aura is telling us that we have to talk to her again, so we will just do that. We have to go get some clearance papers and we have to drop those off in Cruiser, but we will pick them up in this station, so it's very important that you read this correctly. So if we accept the mission and we go to our items, we will actually see that we get the clearance papers. I recommend you take every item you have in this station because we will be moving to Cruiser for the rest of the missions, so it's kind of important to do that. And then right click Cruiser, set your destination. You will see it's 3 jumps in this instance, and lock. Now if you're starting with a different race, then you will probably be headed to a different station and you will also be setting out from a different station, so please do bear that in mind. And there we go. If you click a gate and you press the jump, it will automatically warp you to the gate, and as soon as it's in range it will jump you through the gate. So we'll be moving over right now. As you noticed, I've skipped ahead to traveling bit, and we're now about to jump into Cruiser. So there is the gate. Now we're going to activate the gate, and here we go. Jumping right through it and into Cruiser. Now, you see here at the station in Cruiser is marked with a yellow icon. That's because this is a station where we actually have to deliver the item. We set our destination to this station, so that's why it's yellow. You'll also notice that there's people flying around, and some of them will be marked as green. That's because they are in the same starting corporation as you are. And let's see what Aura has to say now. We accepted the mission. She's telling us it's a courier mission, so we have to deliver something. It's the clearance documents that we have to pick up, which we did. You can view it in your item hanger, blah blah blah, and then we have to drag it onto our ship and into cargo, which is what we did. And now we're actually arriving at the station where we're supposed to be arriving. So as soon as you actually arrive, yeah, okay, this button activates the autopilot. So if you set your destination onto something, which I'll demonstrate later probably, it will activate the autopilot. Now the autopilot is not as efficient as a regular pilot, so if you talk to Aura here, you can actually complete the mission. But back to the autopilot. So if you use the autopilot, it will drop you 15 kilometers off the target you're supposed to warp to. So if that's a gate, it will be 15 clicks off the gate. If it's a station, it will be 50 clicks off the station. And it will slow boat the rest of the distance at sublight speeds. Now, obviously, you'll be vulnerable during these times. Someone could gank you if you were carrying valuable items, so never do that when carrying anything valuable, or flying a valuable ship for that matter. And if you just want to go somewhere in a shuttle and be completely AFK, you can completely use the autopilot. It's actually quite efficient to do that. But if you're behind the keyboard, it's generally always a better idea to just fly manual. Now that being said, let's continue on. Learning about clones. Yes, this is an important one. So every station, well, most stations, not everyone has them, has a medical service. And you will notice a number of things. So my current number of skill points that I have in this clone that's trained up is 107.665. My current clone grade is Alpha, which means I get to keep 9,000 skill points, which is pretty good because I'm still way below that. But as soon as I actually go above those skills, the skill points, I need to upgrade my clone. And as you can see here, it costs a bit of money to upgrade your clone. So the next clone grade would be Beta, and Beta can keep 1,380,000 skill points. Now, this might seem like a lot, but if you've been playing for a month or two, you will actually be at Gamma even, or maybe even Delta. But then again, the starting clones are fairly cheap. I mean, until you start hitting, let's see, nah, still fairly cheap. Yeah, until you start hitting like the clone grade new, which is still relatively cheap, you will be fairly safe, and that's 25 million skill points, so it will take you at least a year or two to get to that grade. So I wouldn't worry overly much about it. Now, if you do die, you have to re-upgrade your clone. It's quite important. Yeah, corporations, we're getting into that at a later point in the tutorial. You can always look for a corporation right now, but I would recommend actually... Oh, I have no idea why that happened. Anyway, as I was saying, so corporations we will get into at some later point. Now, a corporation you would probably want to join when you actually have finished the entire tutorial chain. You can join one now, but I wouldn't recommend it. The way you do it is basically selecting filters as to what you are curious about and what you want to do and which area of operations and languages you can do, and then you can set a time you desire for playing and stuff like that, and a potential size, and then it will start looking for those corporations and you can actually apply for them. But for now, let's just keep that aside because we're not really ready to go into a player-owned corporation. Now, next up, skills training in real time. Yeah, we covered that already. So, as you will notice, this is training while we are talking, and it will continue training while we log off. But that's not important at this point. Yeah, that's the autopilot, but we've already gotten here on our own. So yeah, as you can see, we've got 5 starter agents in this system. Each one does a different thing. You've got military, advanced military, industry, exploration, and business. I do believe that it would not be a bad idea to actually start with one of these this episode. And we'll start with the military because that's the easiest to start with. So cash flow for capsuleers, it's 10 missions for every agent, so we'll be starting with this one. And we have to clear pirates from an asteroid belt. So we'll accept this. Then we will undock, like we regularly do. Now, our ship is pretty crappy, but the mission enemies are pretty crappy as well. So that's not too much of a bother. Can place this now. So we'll be warping to the encounter. Don't warp to regular asteroid belt because there won't be any rats there. You have to warp to the mission asteroid belt. It's a fairly long warp, it's 9.60 AU, but it's not too much of a bother, or it shouldn't be. Alright, and here we are, landing in the midst of them. 2 Corelli initiates. Now, if you remember from the previous episode, first thing you need to do is orbit the fuckers. Second, lock them up. Now, you see that the second one is actually outside of my current targeting range, so we'll just leave that one be and focus on the first one. It will take us a little while to get in range because we don't have any afterburns at this point. Which, coming to think of it, do I have navigation? Yeah. It will need to train afterburners, but that's for later. And as soon as he hits the 5000 mark, you should be able to hit him. Well, okay, maybe a bit closer then. But you can activate the guns already, and as soon as you get in range, it will start showing hits. Yeah, there we go. Now it's starting to hit. I'm gonna orbit slightly closer, because my guns are pretty crappy. Oh, okay, he's dead. And 2 more popped up. Now, in missions, this will happen regularly. If you kill someone, then more rats will show up. Now, you shouldn't be alarmed, this mission is fairly easy, and we still haven't used the repair. We actually didn't even get hit this far. Also, to orbit, you can just use this as well. By default, it will orbit you at 1000 meters, but you can just drag it out and it will orbit at a further range. But for now, 1000 will suit us just fine. It's fairly close, it's getting to locking range. As soon as we can actually get a lock off, yeah, there we go, you can fire to get his attention and he will try to close range with you if he's a frigate. For longer ranged enemies, they will try to get away from you once they start engaging, so sniper battleships and those, but you shouldn't worry about those because you won't be seeing them for a while at least. So yeah, you see the yellow box around him? That means he has targeted me as well. And as soon as he starts shooting me, the yellow box will change to a red box. This is what we call yellow boxing and red boxing in fleet fights. Yeah, there we go. He started shooting me, and now he's red boxing. And you see that there's fire streaming from his guns towards me. So yeah, that's him dealt with. Now the other two guys, and then we can actually get out of here. I'm gonna just skip ahead until I get in range. Okay, here we are. We're starting to lock them up. Again, orbit. I know, you'll probably start being annoyed that I always say orbit, but it's kind of important. And then we just open up on them, as we always do. That's one down, now the other one. Don't forget to reactivate your guns. Pro tip, Control plus clicking will actually lock a target, and pressing F1 will activate the first module, F2 the next, and so on and so on. So it's kind of useful to use the hotkeys if you know them. Okay, and the mission is complete, so we will just redock with our agents. I'll skip ahead until I've docked again. And there we have the sun. Whee! Okay, at the moment we're docking, and here we go. So as soon as you've docked, double click the agent, he will actually list the mission as complete because we cleared everything out. It will get the Gatling reel for this mission, which is quite excellent. So if you check your items now, you will notice that you've got a new item in your inventory. Now, obviously, the items that I'm showing here are in the cargo bay, so we're just going to move those to the item hanger. Then here we have the 75mm railgun. Now, railguns are longer ranged, or supposed to be longer ranged, than the regular blaster that we have, the light electron blaster. But lacking anything else, we are going to dual fit it. Now, regularly this is a very bad idea because you don't want two different guns, but since we only have the two guns of completely different types, we might as well use them. Now, at the earliest opportunity, I'm actually going to switch it out for guns of the same type, because this one hits at about 6,000 meters and this one hits about 2,000 meters, so their ranges are quite incompatible, and I'll only be doing half the damage to any target because I can only get them half in range of one gun. So we're activating the next mission. In this instance, we have to pick up some civilians who have been captured by pirates and then bring them back to the station. And the mission is in Kuster itself, as you can see here. So we accept the mission, and we will actually get a skill book this time. So we're docking. And as soon as we're undocked, I'm going to skip ahead until I walk to the mission location. So yeah, warp location. You can always double click and minimize the windows. And I'm going to skip ahead. Here we are, we're exiting warp. You can see there's 3 enemies at this particular site, but they're kind of far away. Now hopefully they will be moving towards us, or yeah, okay, they started yellow boxing us, so they are moving towards us, which means we can move towards them. And in order to make my own life easier and to see how fast these guys are going, I can open the overview settings. We'll go in depth about this later on. And I can check a column amongst the columns tab, and that actually says velocity. So I will check this one, and now I have the velocities as well. And we'll notice that this one is headed toward me at about 400 meters per second, so he's probably using an afterburner or some such. I can't lock him yet because he's still out of range. So yeah, again, as soon as he's in range, you can use a Control plus click hotkey to actually lock him up. But we have to wait until he's at about 23 kilometers away from me. So I'm going to set myself to orbit. Yeah, there we go. Control plus click, and we're locking him. Alternatively, you can still just click him and then wait for the targeting range to get in range, as it will soon. Yeah, there we go, and click him like that. It's up to your own preferences, really, but I prefer to do control click because it's slightly faster. Okay, so we're gonna use our railguns now. which is F2 in this instance. And I was getting below the railgun range, so we're switching to the blaster. And there we go, that's the first one down. On to the second one. Oh. Railgun. Soften them up a bit, and then switch to the blaster. There we go, done. And now on to the final guy. We can already lock him up because he's in range. And I'm activating the railgun slightly prematurely, but it doesn't really matter because it cycles really quickly. We're just going to be wasting a little bit of ammo. There we go. One shot. Second shot. Switching to the blaster, and he's gone. Excellent. And 2 more have showed up. Now this isn't too much of a bother, we'll just turn around and deal with them as well. 1 railgun shot to get their attention. And they still have to catch them that I'm actually found. Yeah, one is catched on, turning yellow. Second one still is oblivious to my existence. Ah, there we go. I was locking him as well. Go for this one first because it's slightly closer. And there we're getting some hits off. One more. Yeah, there we go. For the other one, I'm just gonna fly straight ahead in this instance. And there we go, he's done. Now the final one has dropped the cargo container. This probably, yeah, there we go, it contains the civilians from this mission. So pick those up and then redock at your agent station. We'll also list the mission as complete, which it actually is. As you will notice, I'm not looting any of the wrecks basically because I'm not bored to do it, but in your instance it might be a very good idea to do this, because it might contain some useful equipment for you. Then again, it may also contain some crap, but you can always sell the crap for a bit of ISK. Won't be much, but a little bit of ISK is always better than nothing, I suppose. So yeah, here we are, docking again at the agent station. As I was saying before, green ones are in my same newbie corporation, and the other ones that you see here, the ones with no really colored backgrounds, are just neutral players. So yeah, I'm not going to show this again. So we complete the mission, and there we go, mission has been completed. Oh, we actually got Natron as well, which means we have a new ship now. Excellent. So we assemble the ship by right-clicking it. We always go to the ship hangar first. And you can make it active. But before we do, we're actually going to take everything off our current ship. So we're getting the ammo out, we're getting the guns off it, yeah, and we're getting the armor repair off. The reason we're doing this is because we are actually going to be equipping the new ship, because it's better in almost every respect. So we drag the small armor repair on, the Gatling gun, the light electron blaster. Then of course both of these guns need ammo, so we're dragging on ammo. And that's about the extent of it. Now this new skill book we got, we can actually train to level 1 immediately. In this instance it's motion prediction, and what it does, if you are curious, you can always click the information icon and read the description, is that it actually improves your targeting. So you get a 5% bonus per skill level to the tracking speeds of all weapons. Well, I think it's all weapons, you know? Yeah, to every weapon turret. Obviously missiles are excluded from this because they are not weapon turrets, but that's not really relevant, because if you're watching this video, you're probably doing the Galantis Start missions. So yeah, that's done, and now we're gonna request the next mission. I'm actually forgetting something really important. We have to rename our new ship, because it's called an Teachings Alt Velator, or no, in this case Atron. So we're going to change this to Quickie, because Atrons are actually fairly fast. Now if you complete the next mission, we will get 2 more Gatling guns, which is most excellent, because then we can fit 3 Gatling guns and get rid of the Iron Blaster completely. And we have to pick up some secret documents and destroy some pirates. So it's pretty much the same as last time, except instead of a civilian, we're getting some pirates, some documents. So I'll undock, and then I'm gonna skip ahead to the mission again. Here we are at the mission site. We've got a number of enemies, looks like about 7 of them. And the guy we actually need is actually far away. But if I'm not mistaken, Wolf will run away, and we will see him again during the epic arc. So just go for the ones that are nearest to you, lock everything you can up. It will only be 2 targets because you're limited because of your skill. And then start shooting the buggers. Actually, shooting the wrong gun because I switched them. There we go. It's dying. It's one down. There's another close by, so we're gonna kill that one next. It's very fast. Can't really hit him all that well. Not to worry though, we can always ignore him. We got a hit off, but we'll just do the other Weber drone first, because Weber drones are really annoying. A Weber drone uses a stasis Weber fire, generally speaking, which slows your speed. Yeah, as you can see, it's using a Weber fire on me, and my speed is dropping substantially. So we're gonna kill this one first because it's a pain in the butt. And there we go, and our speed is going back up again. I'll get more in depth about kinds of electronic warfare that you can do later on, especially the interdiction warfare. So now we're killing the runner drone, which is way too fast to properly hit, but we're doing it anyway. We nearly got the bugger. Just one more decent shot. Yeah, that's that one done. And he apparently dropped the cargo container, so if we approach it and get documents, we can actually complete the mission right now. Because it says we only need documents and we've killed enough pirates. So since this is actually finished, let's dock up. I'll again skip ahead until we reach the station. And here we are, docked again. So we have documents in our bay, as you can see, it listed as checked off. So we complete the mission and we receive our brand new guns, which I'm very happy about. So if you go to the item hanger, we have 2 75mm Gatling rails. So we drag off the electron blaster, which we don't need anymore, and we get on the railguns. And as you can see, we only have the 3/3 slots, so it's impossible to fit any more guns, as it just lists. And you can actually group the guns, but we'll do so when we haven't docked. And we'll get some extra ammo on the other guns as well. There we go. And now they're all properly loaded. We also got a skill book, propulsion jamming, which we should immediately train to level 1, because we will be needing it at some later point. Sadly, this is going to take 24 minutes, so I'm not entirely sure if we can immediately do the next mission. Yes, we can, because we'll be getting an afterburner, which is most excellent. So, again, it's the mission in Cooster. We need to warp to the dead space area, find the Stargate, and approach it. That's all we're supposed to do. So yeah, I didn't read the mission description properly, so I'm hoping I'm not gonna lose a ship, because some of the missions, the start missions, make you randomly lose ships. Nah, only scout out, so there's a little risk of getting a ship lost. So again, warping to the encounter. I'm gonna close the skill queue right now because we don't really need it. And the journal entry as well. Now as we are arriving at targets, you see we have 3 guns. If I just drag them on top of each other, because they are the same type of because they are the same type of guns, you will notice that they are actually now grouped together. So if I fire one, well, if I just click this once, it will fire all the 3 guns. Okay, we need to approach the Stargate and we need to be ready to retreat. So in order to do that, just click the Stargate, click the station of Cooster, and mouse over the dock button. So as soon as anything pops up and we can get out of here, you can just click this and get the hell out of Dodge. Now we're getting nearer the Stargate. Still nothing happening. We're slightly just heading. Oh, we are right on top of the bloody thing now, aren't we? Didn't say anything about shooting the damn thing. Okay, mission has been completed, so we can get out of here. Oh dear. Yeah, it's got some automatic defenses, which are actually hitting us. And bugger is that I'm currently stuck on the Stargate, so we'll just move around. I'm gonna manually move, so double click and enter space will move in that direction. So I'm gonna move out of the way until I've cleared a Stargate, and now I'm gonna try and walk away. Which in this instance should probably work now. Now, we still have plenty of shield left, so no need to be alarmed. And there we go, we're out of here. Again, docking as per usual. Oops, accidentally spammed the docking. That wasn't my intention, but yeah. And we complete the mission. Now we do get an afterburner, but if we show info and check the prerequisites, we will notice that we're missing a skill. Now this can easily be rectified, because if you right click it and select view market details, you will notice there's quite a number of these in station. Now we will check if we have enough ISK. We have plenty of ISK. We have about 10 times the amount we actually need. So right clicking the entry in station, do mind it lists the number of jumps, and it's always best to buy in station if it's the same price. So we right click, we select buy this, it will note the location in the buy window, so double check this because you might otherwise have to end up in a completely different system 10 jumps away. We only want one, so check one, and then select buy. Now we actually have bought this, oops, didn't mean to open that. And it will list in our item hanger. Now as per usual, you can just right click it and select trains now to level 1. And as you can see, now it's training. It's only going to take 8 minutes to train to level 1, which is fairly decent. Now, if you will note, each additional level we train will give us a 5% reduction to afterburner duration and 10% reduction in capacitor use. Now this is actually quite useful because you can control the afterburner much better, and you can, well, have a lot more capital left over if you shut it down and activate it again. Yeah, the order does blink because we actually bought something, and you will notice that our cash decreased a bit, and there's a market escrow that we actually executed. So yeah, this is everything for part 1 of business. Gonna close it off here, and I'll see you guys next time. Do remember that you can actually like the video if you like this and found this helpful. It helps me as well. You can also click the link in the description, which gives you the 21-day trial if you still want one. And you can always leave a comment, and I will try to get back to you and reply as best as possible. So that's it. See you next time.